What is up, everyone? This is DJC Combat, and today I'm going to be giving my breakdown and prediction for the pay per view coming up this weekend. Not really excited about it. UFC 301. Not really the best of cards, though. I mean, we were spoiled these last few months with UFC 298, 299, 300, all stacked, all bangers, and now this is what we're getting. But whatever, we're gonna talk about a few of the fights on this card. So it's headlined by Alexandre Pantoja and Steve Urseg, and Jose Aldo is making his return on this card against Jonathan Martinez. Anthony Smith is back. Let's kick it off with the first fight of the main card. I'm gonna hand this one over to you. That's Paul Craig versus Kyle Bahayo.
Well, you know what I'm going to say. So, I think Paul Craig is going to come out. Um, he's going to be in an atmosphere like there's going to be a horrible atmosphere when he's walking out. Um, I think the Brazilian crowd is going to try and get in his head. They're going to threaten to kill him. The usual stuff that they do. Um, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think Paul Craig's going to be clear-headed. He's going to come in. The fight starts. I think Paul Craig's going to. I think he's going to like try and feel himself on the feet. Um, I think he's going to like. I think he can. He's going to hurt Baralo, however he says his name, with a body kick, a rear body kick. I think he can hurt him with that. I also think Paul can hurt him on the feet because people make a mistake and they think Paul Craig's just a jiu-jitsu guy, which he showed against what's his name Muniz in London. He's not just a jiu-jitsu guy. He was winning the stand-up exchanges. He's at a new gym now, um, higher level, and it's improved his game leaps and bounds. As you can see, like the Brendan Allen fight maybe wasn't his greatest performance, um, but I just think that's not really indicative of what Paul Craig can do. And I think if you want to see what Paul Craig can do, you've got to look at the Muniz fight. If you want to see Paul Craig as a middleweight, so I see the fight happening. Paul Craig, he's going to test him on the feet. Like I don't think Kyle's really got too many finishes in the UFC, especially on the feet. So I think Paul's going to come out. He's going to crack him with that right hand. He's going to slice him with knees up the middle. Um, if you follow his training, he's been drawing a lot of elbow and knee combinations. Also a lot of nice body kicks. I even seen him throw some few spin kicks and they look nice. So I think he's going to show off his striking, but ultimately, I don't think he's going to knock him out. I do think he can hurt him on the feet, maybe get a drop, but I think if he hurts him on the feet, he's going to go down after him, and he is going to play his game like people. You can't play on the ground with Paul Craig. So I don't see him getting like a triangle or something in this fight because I don't think he's going to be on bottom at all. Um, I think we can probably expect to see maybe a Darce choke. We saw against Muniz also. Paul Craig has a really good Darce choke. I don't know, to this day, I don't know how Muniz got out of that. So I see Paul Craig going in, hurting them on the feet, going down on the mat with him and getting a Darce choke in the second round. That's my prediction.
Okay, that's a pretty bold prediction because Kyle Barajo is a pretty dangerous prospect.
Yeah.
He's got an 11 fight win streak too, so that's no joke. And he's also good on the ground, but good on the feet as well. So I don't know. I could see Paul Craig, winning potentially because he always seems to pull through when you least expect it. Like who would have thought he was going to beat Jamal Hill in the first round? He did. He beat Magomed Ankalaev, but I mean, then again, he's losing to guys like Johnny Walker, and I think like Alonzo Menefield slept him too. Um, got subbed by Brandon Allen. So I don't know. I don't really have much of a sharp analysis for this one, but I think I'll give the edge to I'm gonna give the edge to Kyle Barral. I just feel like he's got a brighter future in the division. And yeah, when it comes to those vets who are inconsistent versus those up and comers who got those win streaks, it's hard not to go for the up and comers. So I'm gonna go with Kyle Barajo, but I could easily be wrong here. And then next up, we got Michelle Pereira versus Ihor Pateria. Who do you got for that one?
Um, I will not lie. I did not realize they were on the main card. I didn't even realize they were fighting. So I'm just gonna have to think of a prediction right here, right now. I'm on the spot. Um, um, I won't lie. I'm not actually too sure. I didn't really have anything to think about that one.
I think what's his name? I think Michelle Pereira is gonna win. 7 fight win streak. Uh, Igor Paterio is not really impressive. Too inconsistent, and his only best win is like an old, washed up Shogun. And Paterio's been like knocked out several times before too. And Michelle Pereira is very powerful and athletic, and I feel like he's found his true home now at middleweight. Now he's not cutting all that weight, so I think this is Michelle's fight to win. So I'm just gonna go with him to win. And then we got Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino. Uh, I think Anthony Smith is going to lose again because I just think Anthony Smith is washed up. Maybe a prime Anthony Smith could beat Vitor Petrino because I mean Anthony, he does have the experience. He is a veteran, but Anthony's always getting his ass beat by like the next best guy coming up. I mean, I don't think Petrino's all that good, but I mean, I don't know. He's got a decent skill set. He's got the undefeated record. And yeah, I just feel like this is Smith's fight to lose, and I just don't trust him. I mean, he's barely beating guys like Ryan Spann, arguably losing to Ryan Spann. We saw what happened to Spann last night, and getting knocked out by Khalil Roundtree. And I don't really think Roundtree's a top level guy, although we'll find out June 29th. Still, not a good look getting KO'd by Roundtree. So yeah, I think Smith is cooked in this fight. And then the co-main event, Jonathan Martinez versus Jose Aldo. Who do you see winning that?
Well, I think Martinez is really good. He is a really good striker. Um, but I don't really see he likes to play like a rangy kind of kicking game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can really see that working against Jose Aldo, but then again, we've not seen Aldo in MMA since 2022. I think it was UFC 280.
Oh, it was 270 eight, yeah, when he had that terrible retirement fight against
Yeah.
Marab.
Yeah. Um, so we don't actually really know what he's looking like these days. Like I know like it's only 2 years, but 2 years in MMA is a long time. Um, but I think if Jose Aldo does show up, I think he should pick Martinez apart on the feet, which is probably a bit bold to say, because Martinez is like fucking up there. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear. Martinez is like really really good on the feet against people, but he does like to play that rangy kicking game, and I just don't know if that can work against Jose Aldo. You see, Aldo is a marauder on the feet. Like he's coming at you, like he's not going to give you the space to throw those long rangy kicks, and he can chew your legs apart from up close as well. So I see Jose getting in close, doing the damage from the inside. I see a lot of clinching. I think Jose Aldo's going to utilise the tie clinch quite a lot and throw some knees up the middle, um, elbow him. And I think, well, just depends on how he's looking these days. But based on what we have seen from Jose Aldo in the past, I think Aldo should probably be able to outbox him. I think he could even outkick him. Like,
Yeah, hold on, I'm just looking at the odds here. Okay, Martinez is the favorite. That's crazy.
yeah, I know. So, oh no, what was I going to say? Yeah, like you can't sleep on Jose Aldo like with the kicks either. Like he can outkick anybody for the height of him, for how small he is. He's really really good at managing to outkick people. outbox people. I think he's probably going to be better on the ground. I think he's got the better jiu-jitsu. Um, but we'll see. And if I was going to predict, I would probably say Jose Aldo by decision.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just looking up Jonathan Martinez's shirt on. That's why I'm on my phone. I could look at it from the computer. I just don't want to like close the stream accidentally, but just want to
Yeah.
see the method of all his losses and stuff. Okay, he's only been KO'd once. But okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with Jose Aldo to win this fight against Jonathan Martinez. I know a lot of people are picking Martinez. I get it. Aldo's older, hasn't fought in 2 years. Maybe he doesn't have his goal straight with his return. He's just planning on a one-off, and Martinez is that young, motivated, up-and-coming guy. But I'm picking Aldo because he just has that greatness factor to him. He's got the experience. I don't know if I already said that he has the experience edge. You can tell me if
Mm.
I did, but he's got that. Um, and I just feel like he's not going to be washed. He may not be at that level, at championship level anymore. Or I don't think he could come back and be the best bantamweight in the world or even best featherweight in the world because that was the division he used to run. But I feel like the caliber of competition of Martinez is a guy that he could turn back. And I mean, Martinez is dangerous with the leg kicks and his kicks in general. He's got knockouts with head kicks and flying knees, but with his hands, he's not a threat with his boxing or his punching power. So I don't think Aldo has to really worry about that. I don't think he can outbox Jose Aldo. I think Aldo's still going to have a speed advantage even at his older age, even with this layoff. I still think he's going to be faster. I don't think Jonathan Martinez is going to out leg kick Jose Aldo. Aldo, with that Muay Thai background, he's going to be able to naturally, off instinct, check all those leg kicks of Martinez. Martinez ain't finishing him with the leg kicks. And when it comes to a flying knee or head kick, Aldo's going to see those coming from a mile away. I think Aldo could also out grapple him if he wanted to. The reason why I was like on my phone looking at Jonathan's record because I wanted to see how many times he got knocked out. It's because I wanted to say
Yeah.
Aldo might knock him out like Davey Grant did, but that was the only time he's been slept. But Aldo could finish him too. I can see Aldo landing a body shot on Jonathan Martinez, hurting him to the body, and then landing upstairs to the head and getting him out of there with a flurry of punches. So I can see an Aldo decision, but I'm gonna go Aldo TKO, similar to what he did to Renato Moicano. They're gonna go tit for tat in like the first round. Aldo's gonna be like blocking and defending the kicks. He might start a bit slow because he's been out for a while, but once he gets comfortable after the first round, he realizes Jonathan has no real threat other than kicks. He's going to start turning up the aggression in round two, and he's going to land. He's going to work the body, and one of those body shots, one of those liver shots, is really going to get through, hurt Jonathan, and then Aldo's going to go upstairs, hurt him to the head, and swarm him against the cage, land knees, land more flurries of punches, and get a standing TKO like he did to Moicano. I'm going to go bold on that one. Now on
Also, Aldo was recently in a training camp as well for that boxing match as well. So it's not like he hasn't been training.
Oh yeah, Aldo's been training. He's been competing, still like doing boxing, like you said. Yeah, so maybe rust won't even be that big of a factor. And I hope after this fight, I know Aldo was supposed to fight Dominic Cruz,
Yeah,
but Cruz was having problems in his camp. I know Aldo wants to go back to boxing, but depending on how he looks and how he feels, I would like to see Aldo stick around. Maybe not try to go on a title run, but like let's get that Dominic Cruz fight. Let's see if Dominic Cruz um is interested if they can get that fight going because I want to see Cruz and Aldo fight before
yeah,
both guys retire.
yeah. That
Or
would be a fun fight for fans.
maybe another fight that would be really good is him versus what was I gonna say Henry Cejudo because they were supposed
Oh,
to fight.
that would be
They can
amazing.
reschedule that fight.
That would be amazing. They were supposed to fight before, yeah.
Yeah, and then the pandemic ruined it. So they were gonna
Yeah,
fight in Brazil. So I would like to
yeah.
see that. Maybe Cody Garbrandt and Aldo would be interesting. But if this truly is Aldo's last fight, I wish him nothing but the best. I hope that he can do things right. And yeah, I hope that he can do things right the right way this time. and retire on top. Sorry, a comment just threw off my train of thought, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
no,
hope he can retire on top this time if he's going to retire. But yeah, I'm going with Aldo because I don't know. I always pick Jose Aldo to win his fights, even when
yeah,
like I'm wrong. A lot of the times I picked him. I picked him both times to beat Max Holloway. I thought he'd win the rematch because he'd like kick him, and it didn't matter. I might have picked Stephens to beat him because I thought Aldo was washed, but when he showed me he's not, every single fight I had faith. I had faith in Aldo, and then I picked Moraes to beat him because I thought the weight cut would be a problem. And I actually did pick Jan to beat him. But most of the time I go with Aldo, especially when he's stepping it down in competition.
yeah,
Aldo's only losing to the best guys. He's like only losing to world champions or championship level fighters. So Martinez isn't that, and he's not proven. So yeah, I
yeah.
think Aldo's going to get this done.
And Jose Aldo's never looked bad in a fight, like in a loss either.
Yeah,
Like, never looked bad. Like you could say Connor, but Connor caught him cold. Like
yeah, it was like 13 seconds. Like if that was a longer fight, if Aldo could have avoided that left hand in the early goings, it could have been a tougher fight for Connor. If they fought again, I think it would have been more competitive.
yeah, 100%. I think it would be more competitive as well. And I think
Yep.
Aldo could possibly even beaten him.
Yep. Now who do you got in the main event between Pantoja and Urseg? I see a lot of people going for the underdog Urseg here. What about you?
Mm, I don't know. Well, I've seen all of Erceg's UFC fights, but we still don't really know much.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a bit of a tough one, but um, what I think is going to happen is Pantoja's just going to he's just going to play his game. He's going to go out there. He'll be able to control this guy. I don't know. I just feel like we don't really know too much about Erceg yet. Um, I don't know. He's a really good striker, and
Yeah.
if good takedown defense, which I'm hoping he will. It should look a lot like the Brandon Moreno fight if that's the case. Um, when when Pantoja can't just take you down and control you, it gets into really entertaining fights. But I also think Pantoja has some of the best boxing in the.
Are you still with us?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Okay, you almost cut out there.
Um, right. So there's two outcomes I can see. I think Pantoja has some of the best boxing in the division. It's so slept on. Um, so there's two outcomes I can see. I can see Pantoja either going out there, doing what he does, taking him down, mauling him, just smothering him, getting to a decision or getting a submission. Or I can see Erceg having surprisingly good takedown defense and luring Pantoja into a war. And I think in a war you can't beat Pantoja. Like I don't think anybody's ever outgunned Pantoja in a stand-up war before. So I think either way, I think it goes to decision, and I think Pantoja gets it done. I think he's really slick at stealing boxing exchanges, like on the end of the exchange and stuff. I think he can win decision either standing up or on the ground. But we don't know too much about Erceg, so I could be horribly, horribly wrong. But just going off of what we've seen, that's what I'm going to go with.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go with Pantoja to win this fight against Urseg. I think Urseg, I think he's a good fighter. And I think he's got a good record too. I mean, he's like 12-1, but very inexperienced, only like 3 UFC fights. And I mean, the level of competition he's fighting is nowhere near on the level of competition of Pantoja. Like he's in there with Chanel and Dave Dvorak and not Clayton Carpenter, that was canceled. Um and Alexandra Costa. Yeah, these aren't like, I don't know, they're not really quality opponents, really, where Pantoja's in there with like Brandon Moreno. He's 3-0 against him, 2-0 against Roy Val. He's beaten Manal Cop, Nicolau, although Nicolau is kind of a bum because he got slept by Perez. Beat Perez. He's beaten so many good guys. I mean, he has a win over almost every like ranked opponent in like the top 10, I
Yeah,
believe, of the division. I think that's a stat, right? Like he's got like a win over almost every ranked guy in flyweight.
that's why he's fighting Usyk, because he's running out of people to fight.
Yeah, so he hasn't fought Makayev yet, but yeah, I just think so. The experience edge for him. I think Ursay could be capable of beating Pantoja. I just think the moment's too soon. He's ranked number 10. I feel like he deserved more of a chance to actually set his foot more in the top five, test himself against the other guys first before getting rushed in there against Pantoja. So I think the moment will be too much for him against Alexandre Pantoja. And I know Urseg is actually known for his grappling, and I think he's pretty tall too. He's a big guy, tall guy for the
Yeah,
flyweight division, and he's got good striking as well. And he may be more technically sound on the feet than Pantoja. Um, but I feel like to give a guy like Pantoja problems, you got to have a good chin. You got to be able to dish. You got to be able to take his shots, dish them right back, and have really good striking and really good takedown defense. I don't know if Urseg will have like the toughness to handle that onslaught of Pantoja because in that first round, Pantoja is like really dangerous. He comes forward swinging big hooks. They may be wild, but he can hurt you. He can overwhelm you. So Urseg has to weather the early storm, and he's got to be able to defend takedowns. But I can't trust Urseg in this fight. I think Pantoja will be able to outgun him in the first round, beat him up in the first round. If he doesn't finish him in the first round, I think I think Pantoja with his experience, with his championship experience, he'll just use that to his advantage. Like even if Urseg is competitive, even if he defends some takedowns, I still think Pantoja is going to be able to take him down a lot. I think he's going to be able to take him down often, hold him down when he needs to, win rounds with ground control, and probably just ride the back of Steve Urseg and maybe win the fight by a decision. I do think Pantoja is very beatable, but he's good. There is a way to beat him, and you can beat him. I do see guys in the division who could beat him. I actually feel like if Kai could get it together and get some wins, I think he's got a chance. I
yeah,
think Malcop in a rematch might beat him. I think Albazi is going to be a hot take. He might beat him too. However, these guys aren't active and they keep pulling out of fights. But someone like Urseg, I just don't know if he's going to be the one to beat Pantoja and end his run, but we'll see. Anything can happen. Um, yeah, I think Pantoja's got it, and I'm kind of on a streak now with these title fights. I've got my last three title fight predictions correct. I picked O'Malley, Whaley, and Pereira. So I want to get a fourth one in a row, right? I want to get that 4-3 record and surpass that get current 3-3 tie. So for that reason, I'm kind of wanting Pantoja to win and keep the belt. And I think he will, but who knows? Maybe Urseg could pull the upset and make the division interesting. He could shake up the division. I just don't know if I can trust that to happen. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this fight plays out. But yeah, I'm usually at the end of these videos, I'm always saying like I'm looking forward to this card. I can't wait. I'm usually always saying that, but I
yeah,
can't say that about this pay-per-view because it's so terrible, you know.
yeah.
The
But
UFC could have,
it's what I'm most excited for.
yeah. I mean, they were you most excited for?
Paul Craig.
Okay, yeah. They could have had Charles Oliveira on this card. They could have had Moicano on this card. They could have had Jessica Andrade on this card. Pereira
Yeah,
was going to be on this card, but they couldn't find a main event for 300. So that's why Pereira was there. It's like they sacrificed this card so 300 could like be fire and have all their best Brazilians, which is really unfortunate, man. But whatever. We'll get through this crappy month of May.
yeah.
And then June can't come soon enough. I can't wait for UFC 302 and UFC 303, Connor's return. Before we close this out, are there any like shout outs or plugs, social media plugs you want to make?
Um, quickly, I just want to say I really, really wish instead of going for Usyk for the title shot, if they were going to do any contender, that thingy Pantoja hadn't fought yet, Mukayev. I think Mukayev deserves it more. Whether it be,
Yes.
I don't think he would win the belt right now though, but I definitely think give him a year or two and he could win. But I think he definitely deserves the fight a lot more than Usyk.
I would be more interested if it was Makayev too. Like Steve Urseg, like, I don't know. He's only getting the shot because he knocked out Matt Chanel, but who doesn't knock out Matt Chanel? You know what
No,
I mean?
I didn't even know his first name was Steve until right now. Actually, that's how little I know about him.
Like, oh man, but that
Yeah,
would be funny if he won though.
yeah, I know. Like, I don't have a clue who he is. I don't really know much about him. Like, I've saw his UFC fights, but I don't really know much.
Yeah,
But Mokayev, I've like watched every single one of his fights.
he's good.
Yeah, like, I've watched all of them since amateur. Not since his amateur debut, but about halfway through his amateur career. That's when I kind of started to find out about him and stuff. And I just think I feel like I'd be a lot more interested in that.
Yeah,
But
fair enough.
oh well, it's the fight game. You never know what's going to happen.
That's true.
Also,
Anyway,
take the opportunity because if he didn't take it now, then it might have not came around again. So
yeah. So I hope he can make the most of this opportunity. I think the unknowns make him dangerous, but it makes it also hard to trust him. So maybe if Urseg was like beating top guys, like if he fought Kai and beat him, or beat Manal Cop, or fought Makayev and beat him and they're in this title shot, maybe I'd have more confidence in him. But
yeah,
right now, just a little too untested, you know. But
yeah,
he's got nothing to lose, so
yeah. Like he's looked great in his UFC fights, but he's not really been fighting the like guys that can expose weaknesses and stuff.
yep,
So like he has looked great, but can he look that great against top guys? I don't know because we've not seen it. So if he goes out there and beats the champ, then that's a statement. No, that is
it
big.
is. And then
But
maybe he could turn around and fight at UFC 305 in Perth and like maybe co-main to Adesanya Dricus or something.
yeah, I know, and I don't think he's going to win a decision against Pantoja in Brazil either
He has
because
to knock him out, but that's going to be hard to do.
because the UFC they don't want a riot to start like in the crowd.
Oh
So
no, that happened last year. Like they were throwing stuff at Brandon
yeah,
Moreno. Like, he couldn't safely get out
yeah,
of that arena. He had to be like shielded.
yeah. I know, like it's crazy. It's crazy how they have so little security at the Brazil events. Like they need to have more security at them.
They
But
do. I hope they got good security here, and we'll see how the Brazilian crowd is because usually it's very classless.
I know it is like a really good atmosphere, like to watch, but it's just a horrible atmosphere for the fighters and the staff.
I agree.
But oh well. You have any other thoughts on the card?
No, I don't really have anything else to say, but yeah,
Yeah, like if Paul Craig wasn't fighting on it, I wouldn't really care about it to be honest.
yeah. I'm probably like gonna like I don't know if I'll skip. I skipped last night's fight night, but I'll
Yeah,
probably watch some of this, but I won't be like fully in tune. Won't be like at the bar for this. I'll be watching it at home. So
yeah, like for 300, I watched the full card like from start to finish.
me too. I was like excited for 6 p.m. Eastern to start to tune
Yeah,
into Cody versus Figgy. I was like watching in the living room. Like all I was watching like the fight pass prelims in the living room. Then I went straight to the bar for the early like the first fight of the second prelims all the way to the main card. Like there will never be a pay-per-view like that again where I'm gonna be watching every single fight on the card. Like 299 was came close because I watched every fight on like the first prelims or sorry,
yeah,
the second prelims and then the whole main card. But usually the fight pass ones, I'm like, I don't give a shit. But
yeah. Like with 300, like I wasn't just watching the fights; I was invested in every fight.
yeah, exactly. I was like invested. I could not wait to see how Cody versus Figgy would go, how Andrade Marina would go. Green versus Miller. I waited for that fight for years. I was hyped for that. Hyped
Yeah,
for Green or sorry, Moicano and Turner. Very excited for that matchup. And then I was really excited for not so much Holly Harrison or Aljo Cater, but I was willing to watch those. I was still interested and I was excited for Lopez, excited for Yuri, like and Rakic, and then the main card all the way through, except for Bo Nickel. Everything was just like Yeah, I sat snub nickel, but everything literally was like amazing. Best
And
card ever and better than 299.
yeah, yeah, oh, I can't remember what I was gonna say now. Yeah, no, I made sure like I was like awake. Like I didn't sleep. Um, so the card started. I think it was 11 p.m. Over here, and it didn't finish until 7:30 a.m.
Mm.
So, and then usually I don't really get to sleep for like an hour after the fights and stuff once I've kind of settled down and got all the adrenaline away. So I didn't get to sleep for on the Saturday. I woke up at about 8 a.m. and I was awake all the way through until about 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. So
Wow.
I
Yeah, I
was
couldn't sleep. Like, I think I went to bed late that night too. And then, like, when I came home, like, when I came home from the bar, I couldn't sleep. I was like shook. Like, I made a couple of like posts. Actually, no, I think I made three post fight reaction videos. I did one for Home Harrison, the Pereira KO, the Max KO, and then the Charles fight. And the
yeah,
Whaley. So five post fight reviews that night. I went down in my basement, did five post fight reviews, and then I went in my room. I'm watching like the MMA Guru recaps, the bedtime MMA videos, and like I was like supposed to go to church the next morning, but I was like, nah. I was up till 6 p.m. and I just slept in all the way till like the afternoon. You know
yeah,
that's how good that card was.
yeah. I know. Like it was a spectacle. Like I don't know if they can ever pull something off like that. Well, not anytime soon. They can't pull something that amazing off anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with 400. I mean, by the time it's 400, all the our beloved legends are going to be gone. Like I don't know if Oliveira or Max will still be here. I don't know. I don't think Islam will still be here. I don't know if Leon will still be here. Like all these big names, these champions, a lot of them are going to be gone. So I wonder who's going to be like the next, like what's going to be the next generation of legends and like milestone fighters that are going to be able to put together 400. I know we got like 8 years to find out, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, like they're probably not even in the UFC yet.
Yeah, the
You just
game is always changing.
like, maybe Raul Rosas Jr. will become like one of the best fighters ever. We don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
There's a few fighters that can become really good.
Yeah, he's only about 18 or something, I think.
Yeah, Diego Lopez might be on 400, maybe.
Yeah, what age is he? He's pretty young, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. I don't. And then Makayev might be on there, but Ramadan might stop him. If 400 is in April, then yeah, Ramadan will stop him. But if it's in July again, he might be able to make the show.
I worked it out. Well, it'll be about 100 months, so that'll be about no, no, wait, yeah, it'll be about 100 months or something until that. So
100 months, damn! Wow, that I feel. I mean, 100 months. I mean, that's long, but at the same time, for some reason, it feels short, even though that's long. It's kind of weird.
yeah, yeah, I know it's like perception of time. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I could say 100 months from now is like 3 years or something, but
Yeah,
no, it's like 8 years.
yeah, it's a long time. So yeah, that's probably like the next big spectacle. I don't really see anything else topping 300 anytime soon. Just
Yeah,
because they brought their best with 300. Like the rest of the cards this year have been so shit. They've been so bad because like all the best fighters were on 300. So
I was surprised no fight got canceled at 300.
oh,
I
is that
thought it was too good to be true.
a record?
For the only stat card to have no fights get canceled.
Yeah,
Maybe, I don't know. There's been a lot of but yeah, usually there's always a sacrifice that happens. Like, yeah, I don't know. I remember there was a curse card. It was like in 2010. I think it was UFC 108 in January 2010. That was going to be a really big like pay-per-view, but
yeah,
like it was supposed to be headlined by Anderson Silva versus Vitor Belfort.
yeah,
I think I mean, Rashad Evans was always going to be on that card. He ended up headlining against Thiago Silva, but then we're going to also get Carlos Condit versus Paul Daly, which would have been a banger. And then I think Shane Carwin was supposed to fight. I don't remember who the heck Shane Carwin was going to fight on that card, but I think they might have done Shane versus like Cain Velasquez or something. I don't know who he was going to fight. He was going to Carwin was going to fight somebody on there. Shane Carwin was going to fight someone on that card. So that was supposed to be like a big pay-per-view back then.
Yeah,
But every fight on there ended up falling through. So, yeah, I don't know. And then 100, I don't know if 100 had any canceled bouts. 200, I think its only canceled fight was, well, there was Brunson versus Musasi, and then John Jones versus Cormier that got canceled. Oh, and then
mate.
Diaz versus McGregor too got
Yeah.
canceled off that card.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember I was like 13 at the time, 14 maybe.
Yeah,
I was so upset. I was like, no, Conor McGregor, no.
they should have kept him on that card because they should. I don't know. They shouldn't have relied on John Jones. That was a mistake.
Yeah, like because he's big, but he's not really a massive pay-per-view draw, surprisingly.
Yeah, but he's at the time he was always getting in trouble, so you
Yeah,
couldn't trust him to carry a big event. Like Dana should have worked something out with Connor and let him still headline 200 because Connor wasn't going to pull out of that card, and we
yeah,
would have actually had a worthy 200 main event. Like no one was hyped all day to see Tate versus Nunes headline the card. You know what I mean? We would have all been hyped for Jones DC or McGregor versus Diaz. You know?
or even Conor versus Dos Anjos. They could have done that. Um, or was Dos Anjos injured? I can't remember.
Well,
Yeah,
because Connor was coming off a loss to Nate, and Connor wanted the rematch, so he could have fought RDA in July, but if he would have fought him at 200 if he beat Nate Diaz the first time. So yeah, they just made RDA fight Eddie Alvarez, and then he lost. So
mm,
I want to see McGregor fight Dos Anjos before both guys retire, though.
yeah. Like I think right now it would like. I don't think anybody would be mad if they made that fight.
Like, I don't care if it's lost its hype. I don't care if RDA is washed. I don't care if Connor's washed. They were supposed to fight. Just make it happen. Like, come on.
Yeah,
They
like I
can't
think
let two legends, because RDA's fought everyone, almost every former champ, every big name there is. He's fought all but Conor McGregor. So I love for him to share the cage with Conor before it's all said and done.
yeah, like RDA is not going to say no to that fight, and I don't think Connor's going to say no to that fight either. It could probably easily be done. They could probably easily do it at welterweight or lightweight,
Yep.
no problem. Even a catch weight, they could probably do it at a catch weight of like 160.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
then I don't know if the UFC would allow a catch weight fight to headline a pay-per-view.
Yeah. Who knows? But that's been like 38 minutes on
Yeah,
this podcast. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up now for real. But thank you, James, for joining me. We should definitely do this again sometime. So
yeah,
yeah.
no problemo. That was a good conversation. And before I go, shout out to Slick Striking.
Okay, yeah. Check him out. He's got some of the best edits on his on his Instagram page. So yeah, be sure to check him out. And yeah, that's all we got for today.
And Jumpman Carter. Shout out
Yep,
Jumpman Carter.
exactly.